Hi, guys. John, the firearms instructor, and welcome to our live. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're having a wonderful week. It is Christmas time. I hope you're doing something fun each day, and I hope you're doing something for the family. That's all it's about is family and Christmas. Lost mom and dad many years ago, and Christmas isn't the same without them. We have our wife and my family here. It's beautiful, but I do miss mom and dad. So if you still have mom and dad, make sure you call them, make sure you hug them, make sure you get a little bit of family food with them. That'd be awesome. So, like every week, we do this thing live. So we're doing it live tonight. Please comment. Let me know where you're at and where you're from. If you're new to the live, make sure you mark new somehow or another. If you would go ahead and give us some information in regards to your general location. We would appreciate that very much. Um, Tonight, we're going to be doing a lot of different stuff. But before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you very much for being here. Looks like we got a good crowd already. There's already 80 on there. So if you can, please comment. Let me know you can hear me pretty well. Make sure you give me a thumbs up or something like that. It would be helpful tremendously. I had to set this thing up myself tonight, so we're doing good. Onessa. Onessa. Looks like Danny's from Onessa. I guess that's Onessa, Texas. I think I only remember a movie with what's that golfer's name that was in Onessa, Texas. Tune in. Natasha's here, so thank you, Natasha. Hope everything is going well with you. We appreciate you being here. Yeah. So Dan Roll, Johnny. Hello again, John. Danny from Odessa. We appreciate that. And Tasha. And okay, Tom. There we go, Tom. Hi from New Hampshire. Hello, Tom. I hope you're warm, buddy. Is it cold there today? I assume it was cold this morning. I actually got out a jacket. I was like, yesterday leaving the shop. It was. I don't laugh at me, guys, please. Especially you guys from up north. But I'm an old Florida boy, and it was. I think it was in the 50s here, and I didn't have a jacket on. I just had a t-shirt. I don't wear pants, and I go to funerals. I wear pants, and my wife took me to Chicago many 2 Christmases ago to see her famous Bears and beat the Vikings, and I had to wear pants for 3 damn days. So I think I'm pantsed out for a while. But yeah, it was cold here. I'm not sure how cold it is other places, but I'm sure we're going to get a lot of cold weather this year. It comes and goes here in Florida. We get a cold snap will be about 2.5 to 3 hours, and then you're back to wonderful. Not cold enough to open the house up for 3 or 4 days, though. We don't get carried away like that. We want to make sure the house stays at our wonderful 72 or 74 or 76 or whatever it is. Miss Johnson likes it a little cool in the house. Not too cool, but she likes it cold. She could wear pajamas, so that's part of the fun thing there. So last week we talked about what was it? Adding iron sights versus learning to use your iron sights. And this week we're going to talk about the pros and cons of adding a red dot to your pistol. And I think we'll go ahead and get started here with this thing today. And I'll keep checking back with the comments as we go here to see exactly. I'll keep going back and forth there. Let me get this thing pulled up here. I'm going to take this here. I'm going to add that to the stage. I think I'm going to make it here. Oh, look, it's jumped already. All right, so there we are. So let's talk about this thing. If you don't know what a red dot is, it basically there is a sight that goes on top of your pistol that's in a glass figure. So when you shine a the dot on the glass, it reflects back at you and allows you to get a focal point on your target, and it makes it pretty easy for somebody who is experienced using them to become pretty proficient. There's a lot of positive things, but there are a few negative things. Let me do my disclaimer. I'm going to put my two fingers up right off the bat. As a firearms instructor, I would highly recommend that you don't buy a gun with a red dot until you know how to shoot a pistol with your iron sights. It's very important because a lot of times, once you get using this red dot, you are going to forget your iron sights and you're probably never going to look at them again. And the problem with red dots is they are an optic that's battery charged. They have a glass plate. That glass can break, the plate can break, the battery can go dead. It can be dropped, it can be shattered. There's a lot of different stuff. So you got to make sure you understand the physical point of knowing how to use your iron sights, and then from there, the red dot would be a great choice. Now that is my opinion. I know we know in opinions, and you can make your own decision. There's a lot of people who are very proficient with a red dot, love them, and would never go back to iron sights, even if someone gave them a free gun with iron sights on it. But there are some people who buy these guns right off the bat with red dots on them. I've had plenty of people buying firearms now and bringing them to our store, and they have a hard time focusing or finding that dot. So we have to spend another 10 or 15 to 20 to 25 minutes helping them focusing on that dot to be able to use it to get them to train properly. And not only that, some of these people are bringing these guns in with red dots on them from the manufacturer, and the manufacturer hasn't even sighted them in yet. So we got to spend some time sighting them in first. So there's a lot of advantages and disadvantages. We're going to cover each one of them tonight. So the pros and cons of installing a red dot sight on your pistol. All right, advantage number one. We're going to do advantages first, and then we're going to do disadvantages, in my opinion. Uh, uh, it enhances your accuracy. When you got the red dot on, it's pretty simple, man. It is a quick, fast, easy to level out. Now, I will give you some advice. If you're going to use a red dot, you need to stop focusing on the dot as much and you need to focus on the target and let the dot float on the area. I know that seems counterintuitive, but really what you're trying to do is get both eyes open. This is the key thing about a red dot, guys. The advantage of a red dot, it allows you to shoot with both eyes open. If both eyes are open, let me move this banner real quick, guys, if you don't mind. It's driving me crazy. It's got that little banner thing there. Is it this one? No, it's not that one. It is this one. No, not that one. It is you know what I'll do? I'll just slide me off and just do this big one here. Do this whole thing. Focus. Trying to. I will bring this forward up here. Make it a focal point. There we go. That'll take that little goofy guy at the bottom there. You don't see me. All right. And I move those multiple. So what it will do for you is it'll give you a focus point that the focus point itself will be more easier for you to become more proficient. And if you look out here, this is a picture of the iron sights, and it's a picture of that dot being focused out there on the bad guy in the center. This is something that drives me crazy. Just because there's a dot in the center of this guy's belly button doesn't mean you should shoot there. Think about this. These targets are set out there. That's one of my pet peeves. When you see, where do you think that red dot's focused? Is that the bottom part of the lungs? Is that in the belly button more, or should we be up a little higher in that center chest? I'm sorry, I get off the tangents once in a while, but yeah. So quick acquisition. Red dot sights provide a clear and precise aiming point. I would I use the word precise, but I don't really mean precise. I mean more quick acquisition because this isn't crosshairs. This isn't a scope. This is a quick acquisition product. It allows you to quickly acquire your target to improve your accuracy. If you got this thing out in front of you and you're popping an 8-inch paper plate, or a 6-inch paper plate or a 4-inch or 3-inch or 2-inch, and you got it sighted in pretty well, you're going to be able to cycle through all those without having anything. Because it's more about quick acquisition than it is about being bullseye. I don't care if I'm hitting the top of the plate, the bottom of the plate, or the two sides of the plate. If I'm running the gun fast, I'm running the gun fast, and I don't expect my impacts to be tight together like that. But if you've got this thing sighted into a point and you're able to control the recoil and keep that weapon level, man, the accuracy is understatement. I mean, it is awesome. But you got to remember, you got to sight this thing in. You've got to make sure it's sighted in at all distances. When we sight one of these in, we sight it out at 35 feet, and then we actually sight the gun in at each distance to know if we're hold over or hold under. Pretty much from 35 in, if you had this thing set in the middle of a paper plate, you ain't gonna miss that paper plate at all. Even if you did a 4-inch circle, it'd be unlikely that you'd miss the 4-inch circle from 35 in. That's how tight that would be for you once you've got them sighted in pretty well. Once you've got right and left figured out, up and down's pretty easy at that point in time. So number 1 would be enhance accuracy. Next. All right, number 2 would be improve speed. With a red dot, you can aim with both eyes open to give you a wider field of view and make it faster for target acquisition. This is moving left and right. This is cooking a target out of 40 feet and then coming into 25 feet and moving back out to 30 feet. And you're able to get both eyes open. You get a bigger field of view. How many of you out there right now are shooting with one eye closed? Well, this will definitely improve that because when you shoot with one eye closed, if you just sit in your while you're watching this thing and close one eye, what's happening? You're losing some of your peripheral view. When you shoot with a red dot, it allows you to shoot with both eyes open. Here's a picture of a good-looking guy pointing a pistol at you, and look at me shooting with both eyes open. I when I used to do this all the time. When I shot my bow, I had both eyes open. When I shot a rifle, both eyes open. When I shot a pistol, both eyes open until I got my glasses. And when I got my glasses, I had to learn to shoot with both eyes open again because my vision was repaired as much as they could. I had astigmatism and it was popping that side. So I actually physically, my dominant eye would always take over. But when I got my glasses, my dominant eye became weaker again because the glasses were making it. And for a while there, I didn't even know it. Johnny was filming me, and we had one of our YouTube subscribers say, "Hey, I thought you said you shoot with both eyes open." I said, "I do." He goes, "Go back and look at that video. You were squinting or you had one eye closed." And I went back and looked at that video and I had both eyes, well, I had but one eye closed. I said to Johnny, I said, "Johnny, jackass, you didn't tell me." He goes, "Oh, yeah, you've been doing that for a couple weeks now." Said, "You got your glasses." I said, "Well, jackass, you need to tell me. I didn't even realize they was doing it, guys." And most people don't realize they close an eye. But I had to go and learn to shoot with both eyes open again. Where a red dot is going to focus and going to give you that ability to shoot with both eyes open, which will give you a larger field of view, which is kind of a cool little feature. Once you learn to see the red dot, that's one of those disadvantages we'll talk about. Okay, advantage number 3 is low light performance, man. I don't know if you've seen a pistol with a red dot on it in low light conditions, but this is a pretty good example of a front post, back post. I don't know what this is. This is a tritium the sight system because the green. I don't know if you can see that's green. You have a tritium front post and two tritium back posts. Look how black the gun is. And when you've got this out in front of you, it's somewhat challenging to see those green dots because they're so small. But look how magnified that red is against that wall. And that's the cool thing about the red dots, how much illumination they can do for us. Red dot sights illuminate out low light conditions, makes it easier to see and aiming at your target. Now, I don't know if you've done any kind of shooting in low light conditions, but you have to be not only what tends to happen is most people don't understand is the flash of this gun. is going to blind you temporarily because you're got flames coming out of this pistol, and you're going to lose your low light. You're going to lose your what we consider night vision when you're shooting something like that. So that on top of the dot being able to will give you that acquisition that you need to be able to see that. You know, if you look at these red dots and you kind of look, we talked about last week about a level pistol shoots level. Well, he's got that front post higher than the two back posts, if you can kind of see that. But I don't want you to think. I don't. I when you're sighting in a red dot, this thing looks like it's co-witnessing with that front post, and that's all he's using it for is that front post. I always tell people you should make it look like a matchstick and a flame. And you see how that front post is out there and that red dot is on top of it? That's what we're trying to focus on. And he's just looking at that dot when he's putting against the wall there. That's why it seems like that dot in front is kind of higher than the two back dots. But someone who never shot iron sights before wouldn't understand that that's going to be shooting high at that point in time. So that's why it's important that you get your head around making sure that you are knowing how to shoot both pistols, a red dot and an iron sights as well. All right. Number 4 is the versatility. Man, there are a bunch of red dots. I'm not talking, let's see, I've been in the gun business for 7, 14 years, and I've been shooting dots on and off for those years. And there was only a few guys, just a few years ago, talking probably there was 4 or 5 manufacturers, and most of them were high priced items, man. But the versatility and compatibility of most pistols give you the flexibility to switch between firearms without losing zero or focus on your sights. Now, that being said, here's where I'm going to give you my, here's where I'm going to shake my, my instructor finger at you again. Uh, if you were going to do it right, you would have the same gun with a red dot on it as the same gun without a red dot on it. And let's see, what are you saying, John? Buy two pistols? Yes, buy two pistols. Buy two pistols of the same because you can get really, really good with your red dot, but you're going to lose your iron sights proficiency. So if you're shooting both red dots and the iron sights with the same pistol, you're going to be able to work that gun whether the red dot works or not. Because remember, most of these red dots, not all of them, but most of them don't really co-witness with the front, or you don't have raised sights. That equalizer from Smith and Wesson right now, there's a couple. Glock makes a few of them that have raised front sights, and their plate is cut low enough that the dots can be still on the gun, and you'll still be able to co-witness through your red dot without losing the ability to taking it on and off. It it the wholesome one you see up here facing me, it'd be the right. Facing you is probably the left. That wholesome there. If you look at that grid up top there, there is a solar panel on that. So a lot of these ones here, there's Trigicon on here. I just pulled a few of them just to kind of show you. You know, back in the day, the Tridge was probably the one that most people put on the Glocks, and those at the time, those Trigicons were $400. So you're buying an optic ready Glock because no one was cutting plates in them yet. But not nowadays, you can get an optic ready slide and just put that on the gun when you want to have the optic on there. And then when you don't want, you can use your regular slide to shoot it with your iron sights. Um, the, each one of these has their advantages. The Wholesome's really taken out Holosun. I said Wholesome. Holosun has really taken over the industry with a couple of their neat little things they've got going on. They have the Shake Awake. Uh, they have the ability to that when you pick it up, it turns on. There's a lot of positive stuff, but you pay for all that stuff. It gets expensive after a while. But the cool thing about that, most pistols nowadays, like the Equalizer, like the Glock 43X MOS, uh, the Ruger Max now, even the Skies and the Tauruses, they're all coming with optic ready plates on them now. And so you can buy a gun without a red dot on it, learn to shoot it, and then add a red dot down the road. In my opinion, what you should do really is buy two. I know it's a gun store telling you to buy two guns, but it really makes sense after a little bit because once you get comfortable with it, you may feel frisky one day and want to use your red dot oh, sight system, and sometimes you want to be old school and use your iron sights, and you can put it on and it would work either way. But you'll be comfortable with either one of them. So that's the cool thing there. Uh, the cool thing is, uh, I put number 5 as training. It's a training aid because it really shows you when you look inside of this dot and you've got it out in front of you and you're trying to hold it completely still. I mean, completely still. You see how much you shake. And it kind of shows you, and especially the beginners, of how much manipulation we're doing on this pistol just by holding it, just our heartbeat running, and how we're trying to wonder why these shots way off to the right or way off to the left or anticipate or cut or do anything else like that. A red dot really is a good training tool because it kind of gives you that instant feed. When you put that dot out there and cut that shot, and you see that shot cut completely off the paper, you know you're manipulating that gun with a trigger pull versus a trigger press. If it's you're aiming and it's cutting off to the left, most likely you see this gentleman here. He's got a great trigger, just using the front pad of his hand. He's got a little bit of trigger gap there. He's got a good deep, deep. The weapon is deep in his hand, so he's going to control it tremendously, and he's getting a good grip. See, those fingernails are white, so you know he's double gripping with that non-dominant hand. Overall, it'll improve your shooting skills by having a red dot. Once the red dot is sighted in, I don't know how many people come here and bring a red dot in and try to sight it in within 25 to 30 shots they come up and ask us for help. Now we offer to help when we install a weapon for anybody here. We are going to we're always going to sight them in for them. But some people buy guns from other places and bring them in, and some are able to do it. Other ones we have to help them at the end. So those 5 advantages are pretty important for us. So let's look at the disadvantages. Let's see where the disadvantages where we are on this. All right. Now let's look at the and discuss the disadvantages. I spelled disadvantages wrong, I think there. Yeah, I probably did. I'm a terrible speller. Disadvantage number one, the cost. This Trichicon here, many years ago, this would probably be, you're probably looking at about $400. $400 on this piece here. Uh, we use a lot of the Crimson Trace micros because we sell a lot of the smaller pistols, but those micros are 200. You put a green dot in there, it's 235, and you're adding that. Now, imagine if you bought a Taurus G2C optic ready or G3C optic ready, sub $300 gun. You putting a $300 red dot on top of that. The whole reason why you're buying the $300 gun is to kind of watch your budget, but you're gonna add a $300 red dot on there. And be honest with you, the red dot's not gonna make you more accurate. You running that gun, discipline on trigger control, discipline on sight picture and sight alignment is gonna make you more accurate with a gun. I'm not sure exactly when the whole thing turned on. This is similar to the laser thing. Remember lasers? Everyone wanted a laser on the gun, so it was going to make me more accurate, and I couldn't miss with a laser. Well, you can miss with a laser, ladies and gentlemen. The laser is a good training tool too because you can't hold it completely still either. And people always thought this laser, if I put it on your chest, you're going to run away. But if you don't tell the bad guy the laser's on his chest, he's not going to know the laser's on his chest because he isn't going to see it. And keep in mind, in low light conditions, a red laser and is great, but in high shiny, high sun, you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it at all. Where if you're going to go green on a laser, then green will show, but green's more expensive as well. Red dot sites can be quite expensive, especially if you're opting for a high quality one. Now, there's nothing wrong with most of the. I'm not cutting down high quality, guys. Trust me. But sometimes it's easier just to get something on there that's going to work and it's going to give you. We always talked about the Amazon deals. There are a bunch of them out there. I'm not sure if they're actual physical same product or they're knockoffs. Amazon always guarantees they're not knockoffs, but they almost look the same. But you can't sell a $500 scope and then turn around and look at Amazon and see it for 150 bucks. Something's given there. Something's not right. Something's got a logo on it, but it may not be the same product. You need to consider your budget before making the investment. Yeah, because think about this. You get the gun, you put the red. This is Glocks, Trigicons. There's only a Holosun now works on Glocks, but before it was always cut for only 3 or 4 optics, and they were all expensive optics. Back in the day, these guys were running the 34s. Those things were 700 bucks to begin with. And then you're going to put a $400 scope on there, a $400 red dot on there. You got $1,000. Now, of course, they didn't tell their wives there was $1,000 gun, but at the end, your budget starts getting out of control. And then imagine doing all that and just physically can't shoot it. There are people who cannot use a red dot because they have stigmatisms. Now, I'm one of those guys, and that stigmatism makes that red dot look like a big star in. That's why you want the MOA or the dot itself inside there can be a 4, it can be a 6, it can be a 3. You want it to be as small as possible. But when you've got astigmatism, all you're not seeing a circle out there. You're seeing a big shiny starburst, and it becomes hard for. And those people that have stigmatisms or they have short vision, it's very unlikely the red dot would make you more accurate. It would cause you more frustration because you're trying to be as accurate as possible, but you don't have a small pin out there. You've got a big blurry red starburst. So disadvantage number one is the cost factor. Disadvantage. I was on the internet. I saw this thing. I'm like, holy crap! Look how big that thing is. Yeah. Disadvantage of number two is adding weight and bulk. The red dot sights add weight and bulk to your pistol, potentially affecting its balance, maneuverability. It's crucial you find the right balance between adding features and optimal performance. Now, can you imagine having this in a holster on your waistband in some kind of custom holster you're gonna have to make? This thing looks it's gigantic. Now, obviously, I'm sure this is some custom red dot he uses for long distance or maybe for hunting. You wouldn't need to worry about putting it in some kind of holster at that point. Then, but when I talked about the weight and bulk, I thought weight and bulk with this because that is a Glock of some kind, big beaver tail on there. But you see that scope? See those sights on that? Is he going to be able to use those sights if that red dot broke, or if that glass got fogged up? There's no way because that sight is behind that red dot. So that would be tell you if he got in a situation where he dropped that unit and there it sat, but that glass was broken or cracked, and the red dot was, or he got moisture in there, or the battery went dead. Well, what's he got now? He's just got a paperweight. That's what he's got. Paperweight, or he's going to Kentucky windage it and try to figure it out himself. So disadvantage number two is adding weight or bulk. Disadvantage number three is what you see right there is that a battery. Now, there are some that you don't have to take the unit off to put the battery in. Well, this unit here, you definitely have to take the unit off to put the battery in. And what do you think happens to your zero or where your sight alignment or where you're supposed to be? This thing is perfectly sighted in. And now you've taken it off. You think it's going to just script back on? It's going to be right zero again? You think that? I will tell you probably not, because at that point in time, it's going to be something of a couldn't trust it. You'd have to go back out and shoot it all. So disadvantage number three is battery life. Red dots sites rely on batteries to power the illumination, and depending on the model, the battery life can vary. Red and green, guys. If you've got a green dot, it's going to use more battery than a red dot. For some reason, the green burns it up a lot more. Regularly checking and replacing your batteries is essential to avoiding an unexpected failure during a critical situation. Using a battery, breaking a red dot on the range is a shame, but you're not worried about it's not a big deal compared to you going up to pull this thing in a critical defense situation where it's a life or death situation and now your battery is dead. You're going to have a real problem on your hand at that point in time, and you can't call timeout while I change my battery. That is not going to work for you. So this is my challenge. That the wholesomes. I know people. Someone's going to mention this, but the Holosun has that solar on there, which is pretty cool because it doesn't need a battery. And a lot of the new ones now, guys, have the shake awakes, so the battery's not being used all the time. So when it picked up, it's used when you sit for a short period of time. It will shut off and save your battery life as well. So pretty cool feature there. A lot of that stuff. They're really, really, really putting a lot of effort on getting these things done and getting better and better advantages to it. All right. Disadvantage number four is the learning curve. And I couldn't find a gun learning curve thing, so I pulled this one here. Slow beginnings, steep acceleration, plateau. You did it. I could tell you transitioning from red dot to an iron sights is a lot easier than transitioning from iron sights to a red dot. Um, that's why most people think they're going to buy a red dot and then learn to shoot their iron sights after a while. The focus point should be the front post on any sight system, uh, and then make sure it's level and making sure you're looking through the gun, not over the gun. But I can tell you, as an instructor trying to teach people to find that dot is probably the first thing that becomes more challenging for students to begin with. And here's my tip: if you're thinking about getting a red dot, you cannot focus on the dot. You need to focus on the target with the gun out in front of you and try to make the dot float on the target. If you're using a focal point of a dot out there and pushing the gun out in front of you, you most likely will find the dot a lot quicker. And once you've found the dot once, you want to repeat that multiple times. So when you pull up, just naturally find it each time before you start shooting. Because it's naturally going to, in a cycle, right? Where you pull the trigger and the gun rises and falls, it's going to fall back into your sight plane, and that's what we're trying to do. Uh, the more we can actually visually see it. Now, here's the important part that we always talk about: is do not close both eyes. Keep both eyes open. Do not move your head. You move the pistol. You're going to move it up and down, like forward and backwards, and right and left until you actually see it. This because if you're trying to move your head, your eye, and the gun, you're going to be frustrated right from the beginning. So always focus on a target point and bring the dot up to it and just see if you can float that dot on the target itself. It's going to give you a big advantage. Once you've found this dot out there, it's unlikely you will lose it. It's just once in a while with new students, they tend to just bobble a little bit, lose it a little bit, and they have to go back and try to find it again. And they lose it again and they find it again. So once you get going, once you've got it, it's pretty easy, pretty simple. I know I had a problem with it from the beginning because I didn't wear glasses. I didn't have my glasses. Matter of fact, I didn't own a pair of glasses until I was 2 years ago. So I was blind as a bat. I didn't even know it until I went to go get my driver's license. And the lady said, "Hey, will you read line three for me?" And I said, "There is no line three." She said, "Sure, there's a line three. Would you like to try another machine?" And I go, "Yeah." I walked over there and I go, "Nope, no line three on that one either, lady." She said, "Well, unfortunately, sir, I can't give you your driver's license until you get your eyes fit, until you get a pair of glasses." I said, "Glasses? I don't need glasses." She said, "Well, you can't see line three. You need glasses." So I said, "All right." Of course, I always wait till the last minute. You understand? So I'm sitting on my birthday at the drive DMV, and she's telling me I can't have my license, and I said, "Well, it expires today." She said, "No, no, we can give you a piece of paper." So Miss Johnson had me go over to Target. Target, that's Target. She had our insurance would go over there, and I ended up buying a pair of glasses. And I would put them on for the very first time. I went, "Oh, that's what it's supposed to look like." And then when I kept coming to the range the first time I shot with the glasses on, I was like, "Hey, these glasses are pretty good. They make me more accurate." So I was able to see. So yeah. So once you find it, it's pretty easy to see. It makes sometimes becoming proficient to using it effectively. So let's go to the next one. Disadvantage number 5 is though all that big box of holsters that you have in your home, the ones that you tried and you hate, none of those are going to work on a red dot scope, red dot pistol. You see, this is cut away to make sure the red dot doesn't fall into the holster itself. This is just one manufacturer. That's a Glock 43X, and it's got a red dot. It's got the Sig. Looks like it's a Sig Romeo on there. Sig Romeos are nice pieces, micro fit like that. Now, if you look at that Sig, that most likely would not co-witness very well with the sights there in front. That's kind of what we're trying to do. Is if you're going to put a dot on something, you want to be able to use the dot as well as your backup sights. Backup sights are so important. One of the disadvantages is compatibility of your holsters because you could have a box loaded full or that favorite holster you got on now that's going to work perfectly for the carry gun that you normally carry, but when you get your red dot, it's got to be cut away for the dot doesn't get in the way of drawing or anything else like that. The added size of the red dot may limit your holster options, ensuring proper holster fit or investing in a new compatible holster is necessary. Man, we came back out of the show this weekend, and there were so many holster manufacturers at the show. I can tell you, if you're local here, we have a local guy um, that we actually shop, and I have some of his stuff there. It is pretty awesome. What is his name? I can't remember the local guy here. Um, uh, he makes a lot of Kydex holsters in our area here. I'll make sure I bring it up to you guys. But he's pretty cool little dude in this weekend. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it, but it's a click belt and it's a stiffer one than my leather ones, and I love the belt now. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. All right. Final thoughts. Red dot or no red dot. It's not my choice. It's your choice. As you can see, there are many advantages and disadvantages. We've only listed a few here. I would recommend you buy an optic ready pistol. This is the most important thing I will tell you guys. Don't buy a pistol nowadays without getting an optic ready plate on it because sooner or later most people are going to want to get a red dot on something or another. Even me, the instructor. I am going to get I'm going to take one of my Shield Pluses and I'm going to put an optic on there. Two reasons. A lot of people here want to rent a optic ready gun to see if they like it. And I think that'd be an awesome opportunity for me to um, let them shoot one before they buy one. So we've made a decision, Jacob and I and the family, that we are going to put some optic ready pistols in our portfolio here. That way, when someone comes to shoot, because all of our, I don't know why have such a hard on for the red dot. We put red dots on everything. We put a red dot on a pistol. We I mean, rifles. We all the rifles have red dots. I got no problem with that. I just think that it's so important that you know how to shoot a gun before you use any kind of crutches. And I think that's what mostly it is because majority of the time, what cuts me a little bit is when someone goes out to Bass Pro Shop and they buy two optic ready pistols. This happened here, guys, and no one told him anything about it. They didn't tell him anything. And then he brought them out here, and guess where the optics were? They were in the box. They weren't even installed. So they took two people out there. They went out to a big box store. The big box store sold them optic ready guns and red dots, and then they brought them to class, wanting to learn to shoot them. And I said, "Yeah, we'll figure it out." And I opened the box up, and both of them, the red dots weren't attached. The plates weren't off. They were just there. And what were these people going to do, or how were they going to learn to shoot them? You can't blame the store. The store's part of their deal, but with the customer base not being new to everything, maybe they should have kind of talked to them about it before they did it. But obviously, someone told them their buddy was a cop, and their buddy said, buy a Glock 19 MOS, you're gonna love it." And then they just took a recommendation of that. Now, of course, when they got here, we were able to get them sighted in. They worked pretty well. But guess what? The lady didn't like the Glock 19 because it's too big for her. So she traded in her Glock 19 for a Glock 43X that we had here at the store. And so I worked with a magic deal for her and was able to take it pretty well. Gave her a good deal on her Glock. But I'm always telling you guys, never buy a gun without shooting it first. And when you go out to those big box stores, you can't touch them, you can't rack them, you can't do anything. You just gotta trust that you're making the right decision. So, final thoughts: red dot, yes; red dot, no. That's up to you guys. It's not something I'm not against. But if you know how you shoot your pistol, you obviously could put a red dot on anything you want. So we're going to take this off full screen. I'm going to pop myself back up into the program here. I'm most likely going to take that off. And we are back. So my question is, well, we got a few comments. Let me get to those real quick. All right, let's go here. So we talked to Don, Natasha, Tom. Uh, the, there we go. Looks like we've got Arkansas here. Howdy, there we go. Beautiful. Okay, here we go. Papa Naples, Florida's here. I'm not gonna try it today, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. Let's see here. Let's see what we got here. I wouldn't agree with me buying another Shield Plus. Plus 30. How is that super carry 30? I've never shot one of those. You like that, Eric? Is it good? How's the recoil on it? How's the recoil on it? I'd like to know that. Hey, and by the way, Eric, all you gotta do is ask her not to buy any more purses or shoes, and you'll be able to get another Shield Plus 30. All right. Jeremy George. Hey, Jeremy, how you doing, buddy? I'm glad you're on there. Terry, glad to hear. Terry, where you from, buddy? Where you from, Terry? And then we have this one here. Hi, John. Do you recommend a Glock 19 as a secondary firearm? Well, when you say secondary firearm, are you thinking about home defense? I would recommend a Glock 19 for a lot of different stuff. There are guys carrying Glock 19s every day. I just think they're big and bulky, and there's a lot of guns nowadays that match the capacity of that Glock 19 without being double stacked. Okay, I'm going to say it right off the bat. The equalizer is 15 rounds. You could take a Glock 43X and get one of those shield mags and get 15 rounds in. You can take a Glock uh, G2 from Taurus with a 15 round magazine. The actual Shield Plus, or a Shield Plus 9 millimeter, use the Equalizer magazine and get 15 rounds in it. So the Glock 19 is the standard, man. I mean, if you the world makes every manufacturer makes a Glock 19 clone of some kind. So I would not consider the Glock 19 secondary. I would think it's important thing to have, but sometimes if you're using it for significant other that has small hands, or you got your family members that want to shoot that thing, it's just a little big. That's all. But you could wonderful on the Glock 19. Either I know some small guys that are carrying the Glock 19 appendix carry plus two magazines. So I wouldn't consider it too big. I would consider it just right. But I like the thinner stuff. So you can't go wrong with a Glock 19. No, sir. No, sir at all. Yeah. Hope I answer your question here. Um, yes, if you want a secondary weapon, yes, that's a secondary weapon. No issue there. Terry, Ohio. Where at in Ohio, Terry? My wife's from a little town called Montpelier. It's over by Bryan and Toledo area there. Uh, that's a pretty small little town. It's got the Mennonites. They have the little cool things, the horses and the buggies and all that stuff like that. Very cool, Terry. Very cool. That Shield Plus. Anybody shot any of that Super 30? I'm kind of interested about that. Propaganda, pistols, and pickleball. Oh, I did it! Ha ha! I said it. Now don't ask me to do it again. Don't ask me to do it again. I always mess that up for some reason. So what are you guys doing for? Very nice, Eric. Very nice. Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, I love it up there. That's a beautiful area there. Eric, beautiful. Thank you, Memphis, Tennessee. What's the weather like there today, Eric? Is it nice and probably 40s, maybe 50s? Who knows? All right, Jeremy, how you doing, buddy? You doing okay? Uh, John, well, yeah, I did. Jeremy last week was here with the Staccato with the red dots, and we were working on him getting his fast acquisition. That is something that Staccato's almost a Cadillac in itself. It's got a nice trigger, shoots real well, so that red dots just helped his acquisition a lot better. Jeremy got really, really good, really, really quick, and I'm very proud of him. Keep it up, buddy. All right. So we are going to next week's. We are going to do a full list of things I think would be great Christmas gifts. I know it's kind of you may even see a Santa hat or two, but I'm gonna make 10 things I think would make a great gift for yourself and make great gift for your significant other. And we actually those that are local here, we are going to be doing our gift certificates all the way to Christmas, and we've got those set at buy $100 and get $20 extra. So every $100, it's $120 with the gift cards, and those can be used for a lot of different stuff. All right, those are a lot of different things. All right. Mm. Danny, did you tell me that? Well, oh, Nessa was in Texas. Was that in Texas, sir? Danny Rolls called. He's from Texas. I think it's Danny from Onessa. Well, Onessa is. I think that's Texas. I'm not sure. All right. Um. Hello, Naples again. All right. So next week we're gonna do that one, and then what do you guys? Christmas is on that Monday, so we may not do a live on that Tuesday. I'm not sure. We'll have to figure that out as we go here. Okay, Memphis, Tennessee. Miss Hillary, that's my future daughter-in-law. And my son just climbed in, both of them. Oh, where you want to go to dinner? Mom's already ate. Yeah, right. I'm gonna go home. I'm tired. I went to the gun show this weekend. We were at the gun show all weekend, and my butt's been dragging this whole day. We had Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then we got here yesterday. The store was a mess. Had to clean it up, get it all ready for the following week. And then it's just been crazy. People coming in and buying a bunch of stuff, which I'm not complaining. Training's been going good. It's just after a while you get kind of you need a little bit of a break once in a while. All right. So we're at 52 minutes. I think we're good here. I'd like to tell you guys three things. God bless, be safe, and remember you are your first line defense. If you need anything from me, you can always get me by phone call, which is all this stuff. You can always email me, and we can always get to you. I'm here to help you tremendously every time that you have a question. I want to be here for you. We appreciate very much each week. It gets better and better, and I do this, guys, just for you. And we go last, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, we hit 4 million views. 4 million views on 26,570 subscribers. And that is mind blowing to me to have people from what we got here? We got other people from where would I have met Eric? Where would I have met, Terry? Without the YouTube, without this stuff, and it means so much. Eric, and it means so much to me. I want to give you guys a big kiss. I want to give you a cheer. Let you know that you guys are awesome to me, and you make my heart you make my heart blessed. I mean at the bottom of my heart. That Eric wants that. Ammo's not the issue. I think it's the only person buying it at the range. All right, guys. So until next time, let me get these banners, throw them out of here, and we'll see you next week. All right. I love you guys. Outro.